First time that I featured, it was like, I was so nervous about doing it, I got sick. So by the time I finished performing, I got in the car and hauled ass. So I don't even know if I was good, if I sucked, I don't know nothing. I ain't trying to sell no CDs. All I was worried about is getting in my car, taking my ass back home. So, and then, when I went down to Miami and featured, the first night I was there, I was behind this veteran poet, and so it was like, it was disaster from setup from the beginning. So I was afraid about getting on the mic. And the fear that I had affected my performance. And with that first night, it was all right performance, I ended up doing some other things, I met this young lady and we went home and all that there, but, I didn't care about my performance. I performed well later, but that's life. Adjust the mic. Place his hand firmly on top of the mic stand and he begins to speak. And as he begins to speak, he begins to release piece by piece of who JB is, was, and what he represents. And since he rarely does this, it's all happening at the expense of him, bravely opening his proverbial closet door and allowing anyone with the stomach for it to explore and witness the pains and struggle that he endures. And no, he's not quite sure if anyone can actually relate, but he knows that the clock is ticking. So he thinks to himself, and he says, fuck it. It's too late to debate if he's morally or politically correct, because he's just trying to get his shit together in 3 minutes or less, because he knows that shit can get hectic real quick. As he tries to paint a vivid portrait of imagery into an imaginary canvas, and that's just to enhance the wordplay, which by the way stays on point and direct, so that no one can ever suggest that he's not keeping it real. He's just trying to get you to understand that if certain procedures are not followed, then someone, if not him, can get killed. Because to him, this is a life or death situation. And in 3 minutes alone, or should I say in a 3-minute poem, he's trying his best to release the right amount of frustration just so that he doesn't completely lose it. And like I said before, he chooses poems wisely. But deep down, he despises the fact that it has to be done this way. But because he's forever adjusting, he's able to adapt to the rules that society say play. But society goes on to say that this poet, he's really only as good as his surroundings. But he goes on to tell these motherfuckers that if you're not ready to die for this shit today, then I suggest that you get from around me. Because every day he prays to a God that he's not quite sure exists. Because surely God wouldn't allow a man to go through so much shit only to sit and write about it. So yes, he has his doubts about others who steps to the plate trying to only educate and not illustrate the depths of the life of a troubled soul. That's why he's bold enough to take hold of a pen that writes like a surgical knife. And he slices pieces of his actual life and then proceeds to act like Hannibal on the mic, and that's just to give you a taste of his pain. And no one can even begin to explain his objective, because not once did he give any suggestions on how to make any of this better. But I do know that many of his poems are just suicide letters in which he talks about killing his character. And images of him still up on stage holding the microphone is just his poet form existing in the hereafter. And true rapture occurs when his consciousness finally screams to himself, "Why have thou forsaken me?" And then suddenly, the poet succumbs to a certain kind of death. And when all of his chance to live a normal life has been neglected, he realizes that his time is up. So he humbly walks off stage, feeling totally resurrected. Peace.